Hello everybody and welcome back to another My Porch Prints tutorials. This is Kyra and today I'm going to be showing you how to coffee dye paper and fabric, and I'll show you some little techniques of things that work and don't work. As always, the links for today's video will be down in the description box below. And if you've never made coffee dye paper before, I'm going to be showing you 3 different methods. So we're going to start with the traditional kind of oven method, and then I'll show you the quick microwave method, and then we'll also talk about the fastest method of them all. Alright, so to begin, of course, you're going to be needing a sheet of paper. This is just regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper here. And you're also going to be needing a pan to soak the paper in. And then you can also use this pan when we're cooking it in the oven, since that's the first method we'll be talking about. So, if you have a larger pan, you can probably get more papers in there. But if you layer papers on top of one another, they can leave an imprint on one another. So usually you have to do them kind of one at a time. And you can use any coffee. It can be instant coffee or coffee you've made for the day. This one's still kind of warm. I find that warm coffee stains better than cold coffee. So if you have, any kind of water you're using and coffee that you're mixing in, just remember to heat it up a little bit. That'll help the colors settle. And if you want your color to be very even, you'll actually want to fully submerge your paper in coffee. But otherwise, you can add just a little bit like I'm doing here. And anywhere that the coffee has settled in the crevices of the paper is going to be darker than anything that's not fully submerged. So it kind of depends on the look you're going for. If you want a fully even color, fully submerge it. If you want more variation, just add a little bit of coffee here and there. All right, and typically if you want to do a lot of papers, my method is that I will have paper in one pan that I let soak and submerge for about, 5 to 10 minutes. The longer it soaks, the darker the color will be. So that's kind of depends on the look you want. And then once it's done soaking, I will transfer it to a second pan, and that pan will go in the oven for this method. And then while that sheet is baking, I will soak another sheet of paper in that first pan and then just continue that process until I have as many sheets as I want. And if you're transferring the paper over, you don't need to worry about this next part, but if you're only doing one sheet of paper in a single pan, you will need to drain the coffee before you put it in the oven. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take this over to the sink, dump out the coffee, and then I'm going to pop it in the oven at 250 degrees, and it only needs a couple of minutes. So you'll want to kind of keep an eye on it. You'll know that it's working. It'll create these little air bubbles in the paper, which will create some designs, and then the edges will also start to kind of heat and curl. And once you see that happening, it means it's getting close to done. You'll definitely want to keep an eye on the edges in case they're burning. Usually a little bit of burning is normal, but you don't want too much of that. So usually I pull them out before it's completely dry and it's still just a little damp, and then I let it air dry the rest of the way. And here's what that sheet of paper looks like. You can see we've got that nice color, and those little air bubbles left some designs behind. And you'll notice that the paper does wrinkle a little bit. I'll be talking about how to smooth this out in just a couple of minutes. You can skip ahead if you want to that timestamp. But something else to note is that one side will be darker than the other if you don't flip it halfway through. So, if you're soaking it for 10 minutes, you'll want to, at the 5-minute mark, turn it over and soak the other side. Otherwise, you'll get kind of a light and dark. And some people like that contrast, other people don't. So it just sort of depends on the look you're going for. Here is a sheet that I flipped, and I didn't soak this one for near as long, so this was just a couple of minutes, and you can see I turned it over partway through, and that gave me a very even color. So whatever look you're going for, you can decide whether to flip or not. And then for the microwave method, this works best for smaller sheets of paper, like single pieces of paper that can fit inside your microwave. So something like a paper doily is perfect for this. I do this all the time. I just grab a paper plate, throw a doily on there, let it soak again for a couple of minutes. The longer it soaks, the darker the color will be. And we're just going to drain the coffee out of this. Don't worry if the doily shifts a little bit. We can always flatten it if it starts to curl, the edges start to curl up or anything like that. It's more important not to move it once the coffee is drained, because this will be very thin and easy to tear. right, so we're going to take this plate and we're going to pop it right in the microwave like this, and we're going to let it cook for about 30-second increments. Usually mine takes about a full minute, but I do it in 30-second increments just so I can pay attention. You know, we don't want any burning or anything like that. And when it's done, it should look something like this. You can see we've got the nice color here. Again, it is lighter on the back because I didn't turn it over while soaking. If you want to do that, you can. And if you want to flatten these, you can use a flat iron on, you know, like a low heat setting. Make sure that the paper is completely dry. And then if you want to be extra safe, you can actually fold it between like 2 towels or something like that and then iron it. And that will get it nice and flat pretty quickly. But if that worries you, you can also use just a press method where you press it between the pages of a heavy book, or you can use like 2 pieces of chipboard and some heavy candles, and that will also flatten it. And I found that this only took a couple of minutes, like 5 minutes max, to get a perfectly flat doily or a perfectly flat piece of paper. So, you know, if you're looking to flatten them, you can. And I'm sure some of you are wondering, can you microwave a full sheet of paper? And the answer is kind of. So if your microwave is large enough to fit a whole sheet, you could do that. I had to fold mine into quarters, and this gave me kind of an interesting color variation in all 4 quadrants of the sheet of paper because of how it's soaked. So I'm not sure how useful this method would be. I think some people would think this looks really cool, and maybe you could make like different shades of like paper cards or something like that with this. Other people might not find it so useful, so I thought I would share it in case anyone wants to try it. It did work the exact same way as the doilies in the microwave, but you know, it's kind of up to you if you think this is a look you would like. Now, for fabric dyeing, it is very similar. You can take any kind of, lace that you have or like lace trim, and you can just put it into coffee and soak it for a while. Again, the longer that you soak it, the darker the color will be. But with these, the difference is we are not using heat to dry them. They have to air dry. So if you try putting these in the microwave or the oven, you are going to melt the fibers or worse, start a fire. So this is not a heat method, this is an air dry method. And it will take a little time for them to dry. Sometimes you can use a hairdryer to speed that up. Or a really quick cheat that I do is I'll actually use Distress Oxide. I'm using the color Ground Espresso, and I just brush that onto my fabric, and that will give me a very similar look for a lot less time. So, if you're looking for a cheat, you just want something really quick for decorating something in your journal, that is a method you can use. Now, for a lot of my videos, I like to try to show you guys something new, so I wanted to give this technique a try that I saw online where women were putting like lace doilies and lace fabrics on top of a coffee dyed sheet of paper, and the idea is that the fabric will suck the coffee kind of up out of the paper and leave a lace imprint behind in like a lighter color. And it's really pretty when it's done well, but the problem is it's kind of hard to do right if you don't get the ratios correct, if you're not using the right supplies, and it takes forever to dry, like an entire day, maybe 2, and that's for like a single sheet. If you have enough supplies, you could maybe do more than 1 sheet at a time, but it's just a lot of materials. And if you get it wrong, that's a lot of materials kind of wasted. I will find, I think, uses for some of these coffee dyed pieces, but I did find like my doily got, like the fabric doily got really crunchy and smells very strongly of old coffee. So I don't know. For me, this was a lot of effort for not a lot of payoff. I was really struggling to get it to work. So for me, I decided to try some different methods to see if I could find a faster, easier way to do this. I did try it with these coffee dyed doilies. So all I did was overlap them and then pour coffee on them, let them sit, and then popped them in the microwave like I did before. And you can see that this did work. It left an imprint on the one on the bottom. It didn't leave one on the top one, so just the bottom one got it. But you can see there's clearly an outline of the other lace doily on top of this. So this gave me hope that maybe if I tried this on a larger scale, it would work. So I decided to, layer a bunch of paper doilies on top of a sheet of paper, pour the coffee in. This was the last of my coffee, so this was the last of my coffee experiments for today. And then I let that soak for a little bit and popped it in the oven. And this one also kind of worked and kind of didn't. So one of the problems I came into right away was that the edges were starting to burn while the layered pieces were still wet because, they're layered, so that's more wet and more thick than the outer edges. And this also created air pockets. So I have some areas that didn't even get dyed with any coffee, so that was kind of a problem as well. And it did leave the the imprint behind, but it's kind of muddy looking, like it's not as clear as I wanted it to be. And I also kind of have the problem of the paper doilies are not as intricate as like a fabric doily, so there's kind of like just big circle spaces that have no design at all. I don't know. I wasn't sure if I loved it. Like some of these pieces I think I kind of like and could find a use for in a journal, but this wasn't really the look I was going for either. Overall, I found that none of these methods were getting the right kind of look. They were taking a lot of time. They were taking a lot of materials. I'm not saying that it can't be done, but I am saying that it was a hard enough struggle for me that I can't in good faith recommend any of these methods to anyone as like a good way to dye paper and get a nice lace imprint. So as per usual, when I have a problem, I go to my mother, who is the designer for the My Porch Prints Etsy store where we make all of our printables, and I said, could you design some papers that look like they have lace printed on them? And so she went ahead and did that and created these really pretty designs. So this is the third and final method that I will be recommending, which is to just print it out. This is the fastest, easiest, surest way to get beautiful coffee dyed papers. And what's nice is that you can print them on the front and the back. So you can get that pattern on the front and the back, which is not something I think you can do if you're doing this the traditional method. So we did release these new coffee and lace papers. We also have some coffee dyed doilies we're putting out. And then we have some older kits that have various shades of coffee dyed papers. Some have lines on them, some have designs on them, some have script on them, some of them are tags. So I'm going to go ahead and link all of these down below for you. If you are looking to print out something, if you want to try making these by hand, you absolutely can. It is a fun time, but sometimes when you're on a crunch, it's nice to have printables that you can use to supplement into your journal and still have that beautiful look. So I hope that you guys found today's tutorial helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!